Hi, we're here at SES Toronto, and we've just come out of the Social Media Solutions on a Budget presentation. And I'm here with Danny Innie from Firepole Marketing. Now, Danny, you shared with us a lot of tips on how to do content smarter, and you came up with some tips on the hard way, the stupid way, and the smart way. Can you tell me more about the smart way?
Sure. So, like the whole, the stupid way is just going to Odesk and buying a bunch of content, which never works. The hard way is like if you've got tons of time, chain yourself to your desk and type until your fingers bleed, and you can do that. But most people don't have that kind of time or those kind of resources. What they have to do is get smarter about it. So the first thing you need to do is clear some time in your schedule to actually do good content. And you can do that by lowering the content frequency of just what you're putting out every single day. Lower it to twice a week or whatever. And solicit content. Get other people to write that stuff. And a very easy way to do that is look at the comments in your blog. If you don't get a lot of comments, go to your competitor's blog. It's fine, it's totally ethical. Just look at the people who are commenting there. Find the good comments, follow the links back to their site. They're smart, they're credible, they know what they're talking about, and they want exposure. If the content is good, invite them to write for you. Say, hey, I found your content by following a link in a comment on a blog post back to your stuff. I love it, I'd like to share it with my audience. What do you think? Would you like to write a guest post for us? Spend a day doing this research. You can fill your calendar for 2 months. It frees up your time to do really good stuff. And then that's where you comes to, the smart way of creating great stuff, great content. Figure out what your audience really wants, what they're going to get value out of, and then produce that content. So part of it is, just figure out what they need. Then be smart about the production. So you might say, okay, I've got 40 different questions from customers. So I'm going to spend a weekend flipping, or a week if you work for a company with actual office hours. But flip on a camera, record 40 answers, and you've got 40 pieces of content. Something else we talked about was leveraging other people's content. So reach out to people who are authoritative, who you do want to associate with, and say, look, I'd love for you to participate in whether it is an article featuring expert opinions, or it's something more substantive like a teleseminar, or an entire book is an example I gave because that's what I did. The key to making that work, of course, is good questions. Don't just ask, what's your number one tip for more traffic or something like that, because you'll get 30 different generic answers that all sound the same. So instead what you want to do is find a really good question that they can give a specific but unique answer to. So in the case of Engagement from Scratch, which is the book I co-authored with Brian Clark and Guy Kawasaki and a bunch of other people, the question I asked was, if you had to start from scratch, from zero, how would you build an engaged audience? And so that's just an example of the kind of question you would ask. But think about what is a specific, relevant question that... You cracking up a little bit? What is the specific, relevant question that your audience would get a lot of value out of answering, and that the answer to those questions would showcase the expertise of the people who are contributing, because that's going to make them want to say, hey, you've got 13 different people who wrote answers to these questions, and those other 12 are all great. I'm excited to be associated with it. So I'm going to tell all of my followers to go check it out. And this is a way to get what my co-presenter Krista called a step increase, a step change in the growth of your traffic and your exposure. So that's the smart way in the very short answer. And if you want to see a real-life example of exactly what I've just described, you can check out my book, Engagement from Scratch, which I did following this exact kind of step-by-step process. It's an amazing book, extremely valuable, and I can say that without bragging because I only wrote about 10% of it. The rest is people a lot smarter than me, like Brian Clark and Guy Kawasaki and so forth. And you can go to Amazon and pick it up for 15 or 20 bucks or whatever they charge there. And like 65-star reviews, it's great, and you can pick it up there. But you can just get it for free too. Just go to engagementfromscratch.com, and you can download the whole book, 240 pages, no strings at all, nothing missing, and that's free. So I'd love for you, go grab it, and I'd love to hear what you think.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Danny. That's great to know the smart way to do content for social media. I'm Laura Roth, and we're at SES Toronto 2012.